They are not your friends. They are witnesses waiting for your fall. And the most dangerous part is this: they do not always look like enemies. They laugh with you. They sit with you. They know your secrets. They call you brother. They call you sister. They say, "I am happy for you." But their face changes when your life starts to rise. This is how you deal with fake friends. Not with drama, not with revenge, not with long speeches. With clear eyes, with silence, with distance, with self-respect. Fake friends are not always loud. Sometimes they are soft. Sometimes they smile. Sometimes they help just enough to keep their mask alive. Sometimes they clap in public and pray you fail in private. That is why you must learn to read energy, not words. Words are cheap. Energy tells the truth. A real friend gives you peace. A fake friend gives you confusion. A real friend can celebrate your win. A fake friend studies your win like it is an insult. A real friend corrects you with love. A fake friend exposes you with joy. A real friend protects your name when you are not in the room. A fake friend uses your name to buy attention. Listen carefully. A fake friend does not hate everything about you. That is why it is confusing. They may like your jokes. They may like your time. They may like your help. They may like your loyalty. They may like being close to your light. But they do not like your growth. They do not like your strength. They do not like the day you stop needing them. That is the dark truth. Some people love you only when you are easy to control. They love the version of you that doubts itself. They love the version of you that answers fast. They love the version of you that says yes. They love the version of you that shares every detail. They love the version of you that never outgrows the room. But when you begin to heal, focus, earn, grow, and say no, they start acting strange. Not because you became bad, because you became harder to use. This is the first law. Do not argue with the mask. Watch the pattern. One fake moment can be a mistake. A pattern is a confession. If they only call when they need something, watch that. If they disappear when you need support, watch that. If they make jokes that always cut you, watch that. If they tell your private story to other people, watch that. If they compete with your pain, watch that. If they make your good news feel uncomfortable, watch that. If you feel smaller after being around them, watch that. Your body often knows before your mind admits it. You feel heavy after seeing them. You explain yourself too much. You hide your wins. You shrink your dream. You choose your words carefully because you know they may twist them later. That is not friendship. That is emotional danger. A friend should not feel like a courtroom. You should not have to defend your joy. You should not have to hide your progress. You should not have to make your life look smaller so their ego can breathe. Real friendship has room for your growth. Fake friendship needs you to stay the same. The second law is this: stop giving full access to half-loyal people. Not everyone deserves the whole story. Not everyone deserves your plans. Not everyone deserves your weakness. Not everyone deserves your location, your heart, your money, your time, or your trust. Some people should only know the weather in your life, not the storm, not the dream, not the wound, not the next move. You do not need to hate them. You need to limit them. Hate keeps a person inside your mind. Boundaries remove them from your table. When someone shows you they cannot hold your truth with care, stop handing them your truth. When someone uses your pain as gossip, stop giving them access to your pain. When someone mocks your dream, stop giving them previews of your future. When someone only respects you when you are useful, stop being available on demand. Access is a gift. Treat it like one. Your time is not public property. Your energy is not free food. Your loyalty is not a toy. Your heart is not a waiting room for people who only enter when they are bored. Fake friends survive because good people over-explain. They hurt you. You explain. They cross the line. You explain. They betray a small trust. You explain. They make you feel guilty. You explain. And each time they learn something. They learn your boundary is only a sentence, not a wall. A boundary without action is a wish. If you say, "Do not disrespect me," but you stay every time they disrespect you, they believe your feet, not your mouth. Your feet tell the truth. Where you keep going shows what you accept. So deal with fake friends by moving differently. Answer less. Share less. Explain less. Expect less. Watch more. This is not being cold. This is being awake. The third law is this: do not beg a snake to become a friend. Some people know what they are doing. They know the joke hurts. They know the secret was private. They know they were not there for you. They know they changed when others entered the room. They know they used you. They know. And that is why your long speech will not save the friendship. Because the issue is not confusion. The issue is character. You cannot teach loyalty to someone who benefits from betrayal. You cannot teach respect to someone who enjoys control. You cannot teach love to someone who only values access. You cannot teach honesty to someone who survives by wearing faces. People who care ask how they hurt you. People who fake care ask why you are so sensitive. Remember that. A real friend may make a mistake, but when they see the pain, they slow down, they listen, they own it, they change. A fake friend turns your pain into a debate. They say, "You are dramatic." They say, "I was joking." They say, "You changed." They say, "You think you are better now." They move the light away from what they did and point it at your reaction. That is how fake people escape truth. They make your response look bigger than their disrespect. Do not fall for it. You do not need to scream to prove you were hurt. You do not need to write a book to prove you saw the pattern. You do not need to convince a person who already knows. Sometimes the strongest sentence is no sentence. Sometimes the strongest move is distance. Silence is not weakness when it comes with action. Silence says, "I saw enough." Silence says, "I am done teaching adults how to treat me." Silence says, "My peace is more important than this argument." The fourth law is this: never confuse history with loyalty. Just because you knew them for years does not mean they are safe for your future. Time does not make a person loyal. Time only reveals them. Some people have been around you for a long time because you kept allowing them back in, not because they earned their place. They know old stories, old memories, old versions of you, and they use that history like a chain. They say, "After all we have been through," but they do not say what they put you through. They say, "You are acting different," but they do not ask what their behavior taught you. They say, "You forgot who was there," but being there is not the same as being good. A person can be present and still be poisonous. A person can know you deeply and still not love you cleanly. A person can share your past and still not belong in your future. You are allowed to outgrow people you once prayed would stay forever. That is not betrayal. That is survival. Loyalty does not mean staying close to someone who keeps cutting you. Loyalty does not mean protecting someone who keeps exposing you. Loyalty does not mean dying emotionally so another person can feel comfortable. Real loyalty has respect inside it. Without respect, loyalty becomes a leash. The fifth law is this: watch how they act when you win. Failure reveals support. Success reveals envy. When you are down, some people will comfort you because your pain makes them feel safe. But when you rise, your growth becomes a mirror. It shows them what they avoided. It shows them what they wasted. It shows them that excuses were optional. That is why some people can sit with you in sadness, but cannot stand beside you in success. Your pain did not threaten them. Your progress does. Watch their face when you share good news. Watch the pause before they respond. Watch the forced smile. Watch how fast they change the subject. Watch the joke that lowers the moment. Watch the advice that sounds like warning but feels like poison. Watch the way they make your win about them. A real friend says, "I am proud of you," and you feel peace. A fake friend says, "Must be nice," and you feel guilt. Do not ignore that feeling. Envy has a smell. It smells like cold support. It sounds like small comments. It hides inside jokes. It says, "I am just being honest." But the honesty always lands like a knife. Not every critic is fake. Some people love you enough to warn you. But loving correction makes you feel clearer. Jealous criticism makes you feel smaller. Learn the difference. A real friend challenges your weakness. A fake friend challenges your confidence. A real friend questions the plan to help you win. A fake friend questions the plan to make you doubt yourself. A real friend brings wisdom. A fake friend brings fog. The sixth law is this: do not become fake because fake people hurt you. This is important. Do not let betrayal turn you into the thing that betrayed you. Do not become cold to everyone because one person was false. Do not become cruel because someone used your kindness. Do not become dishonest because someone lied. Do not become empty because someone proved they had no heart. The goal is not to become hard like stone. The goal is to become sharp like a blade. A stone feels nothing. A blade has purpose. Keep your heart, but put a gate around it. Keep your kindness, but add wisdom. Keep your loyalty, but make people earn it. Keep your love, but stop giving it to hands that only know how to take. Healing does not mean trusting everyone again. Healing means trusting yourself to see clearly next time. You are not weak because you cared. You are not foolish because you believed someone. You are not stupid because you gave a person a chance. But you must learn. Pain that teaches you is not wasted. Pain that you ignore becomes a cycle. So learn. Learn who claps when you lose. Learn who listens only to reply. Learn who remembers your wounds but forgets your good heart. Learn who becomes kind only when they need you. Learn who acts confused every time you name the truth. Learn who makes you feel guilty for having boundaries. A fake friend is not always someone you must hate. Sometimes they are simply someone you must stop choosing. That sentence matters. You may not control their character, but you control their access. You may not control their lies, but you control what they know. You may not control their jealousy, but you control how close they stand to your peace. The seventh law is this: leave with dignity. When you finally see the truth, your first urge may be to expose them. You may want to show everyone what they did. You may want to send the long message. You may want to win the argument. You may want them to admit it. But listen, some exits should be quiet, not because they deserve comfort, because you deserve peace. Drama can keep you tied to people you are supposed to leave. Arguments can become emotional chains. Revenge can make you rent space in the same house that hurt you. Do not live there. Leave clean. Leave with your name intact. Leave without becoming ugly. Leave without begging for closure from someone who benefited from confusion. Closure is not always a conversation. Sometimes closure is the moment you accept what the pattern already proved. You do not need the snake to confess it was a snake. You only need to stop sleeping beside it. Do not announce your exit to people who enjoy your pain. Just change the access. They used to get your full attention. Now they get distance. They used to get your secrets. Now they get silence. They used to get your energy. Now they get nothing heavy. They used to have a seat at the table. Now they have memories. That is not revenge. That is order. The eighth law is this: build a life fake friends cannot enter. The best answer to fake people is not anger. It is growth. Not growth to prove them wrong. Growth to prove your life belongs to you. When you build discipline, fake friends lose power. When you build self-respect, guilt stops working. When you build focus, drama becomes boring. When you build peace, chaos becomes loud. When you build standards, low behavior becomes easy to see. Fake friends survive in messy lives. They hide in confusion. They thrive where there are no boundaries. They grow where people are afraid to be alone. So become less afraid of being alone. Alone is not always lonely. Sometimes alone is where your vision returns. Sometimes alone is where your nervous system heals. Sometimes alone is where your standards grow back. Sometimes alone is where you finally hear your own voice without all the noise. Do not run back to a fake crowd because silence feels strange. The wrong people can make you feel less lonely while making your life more empty. Choose the quiet that heals over the company that drains. Use the lonely season well. Clean your mind. Fix your routine. Train your body. Build your money. Read better words. Pray if you pray. Reflect if you reflect. Walk. Think. Create. Become someone who does not need a crowd to feel real. When you become strong alone, you stop accepting weak company. That is when better people can find you. Real people. Stable people. People who do not need your weakness to feel strong. People who can sit with your pain and stand with your success. People who protect your name. People who tell you the truth without trying to break your spirit. People whose presence feels like air, not smoke. The ninth law is this: choose character over chemistry. Some fake friends are fun. That is the trap. They make you laugh. They know your humor. They share your memories. They can make a boring night feel alive. But chemistry is not character. A person can be fun and still be unsafe. A person can be exciting and still be selfish. A person can understand your jokes and still betray your trust. Do not choose people only because they feel familiar. Choose people by how they handle truth, how they handle your boundaries, how they handle your success, how they handle your weakness, how they handle your absence, how they handle your name when you are not there. A person's character is clearest when there is nothing to gain. Watch how they treat people below them. Watch how they speak about friends who are not present. Watch how they respond when told no. Watch how they act when they are not the center. Watch how they carry a secret. Watch how they deal with your growth. That is the test. Not the laugh, not the vibe, not the memories. Character. You do not need many friends. You need true ones. One real friend is worth more than 10 smiling enemies. One honest person is worth more than a room full of actors. One safe soul is worth more than a crowd that only likes your mask. Stop measuring friendship by how often people are around. Measure it by how clean your spirit feels after they leave. The 10th law is this: become the friend you are looking for. This is the part people avoid. They want loyal friends, but they gossip. They want honest friends, but they hide truth. They want supportive friends, but they envy others. They want deep friends, but they only show up when they need something. Do not only look outward, look inward. If fake friends hurt you, make sure you are not fake to someone else. Do not use people. Do not laugh at pain. Do not expose secrets. Do not compete with someone who trusts you. Do not clap with your hands while your heart is bitter. Do not call yourself real if your loyalty changes with the room. Be the kind of person whose presence is safe. Be the friend who corrects with care. Be the friend who celebrates without jealousy. Be the friend who keeps private things private. Be the friend who does not disappear when life gets heavy. Be the friend who tells the truth, but does not use truth as a weapon. This does not mean you become perfect. It means you become honest. When you are wrong, own it. When you hurt someone, listen. When you feel envy, face it. When you are tired, say so instead of acting cold. When you need space, communicate clearly. Real friendship is not built by perfect people. It is built by people who choose respect again and again. Now let us bring the laws together. Do not argue with the mask. Watch the pattern. Stop giving full access to half-loyal people. Do not beg a snake to become a friend. Never confuse history with loyalty. Watch how they act when you win. Do not become fake because fake people hurt you. Leave with dignity. Build a life fake friends cannot enter. Choose character over chemistry. Become the friend you are looking for. These laws will save your peace, but only if you obey them. Knowing is not enough. Seeing is not enough. Feeling hurt is not enough. At some point, you must move. You must stop answering the call that always costs you peace. You must stop telling secrets to the mouth that cannot stay closed. You must stop shrinking your wins to protect insecure people. You must stop calling every long relationship a loyal one. You must stop explaining your pain to people who enjoy misunderstanding you. The truth is simple. A fake friend is a lesson wearing a familiar face. Learn the lesson. Do not keep repeating the class. And when you leave, leave with no hate in your chest. Hate is still connection. Bitterness is still a rope. Revenge is still attention. Free yourself. Wish them wisdom if you can. Wish them distance if you must. Then go build a life where your peace is protected. You are allowed to choose better people. You are allowed to outgrow old rooms. You are allowed to stop answering. You are allowed to keep your plans private. You are allowed to forgive someone and still never trust them again. You are allowed to love people from a distance. You are allowed to leave without making a scene. That is not weakness. That is maturity. One day, you will look back and understand. The fake friend did not only betray you, they revealed you. They showed you where you lacked boundaries. They showed you where you wanted approval too badly. They showed you where you confused closeness with safety. They showed you where you kept giving access to people who had not earned it. They hurt you, yes, but they also woke you. Do not waste that awakening. Become sharper. Become calmer. Become harder to fool. Become slower to trust words and faster to notice patterns. Become loyal to your peace. Become serious about who stands near your future. Because everyone close to you is not just close to your present. They are close to your mind, close to your energy, close to your choices, close to your confidence, close to your path. That is sacred space. Do not fill it with actors. A real friend is rare, so when you find one, value them. Do not punish real people for what fake people did. Do not make good people pay the debt of bad people. Keep your heart open, but not unguarded. Keep your spirit kind, but not blind. Keep your circle small, but real. And remember this, fake friends fear the version of you that finally sees clearly. Because once you see clearly, they cannot use confusion anymore. Once you set boundaries, they cannot use guilt anymore. Once you stop explaining, they cannot use arguments anymore. Once you grow, they cannot use the old you anymore. So grow, not loudly, not bitterly, not to prove them wrong. Grow because your life is too valuable to be shared with people who secretly hope you fail. Grow because peace is better than fake company. Grow because your future deserves protection. Grow because the person you are becoming needs clean air. The mask will fall. The pattern will speak. The truth will show itself. And when it does, do not close your eyes again. See it, accept it, move differently. That is how you deal with fake friends. You do not chase them. You do not beg them. You do not fight for a place in a heart that was never safe for you. You step back. You wise up. You protect your peace. You choose real over familiar. You choose character over history. You choose silence over drama. You choose distance over disrespect. You choose yourself. And when you finally do that, something powerful happens. You stop losing energy to people who were never truly with you. You stop making your life smaller for people who were scared of your growth. You stop mistaking access for love. You stop calling poison a friendship just because it came in a familiar cup. And slowly, your life gets quieter, cleaner, stronger. At first, the silence may feel empty, but soon you will understand. It was never empty. It was space. Space for peace. Space for growth. Space for real people. Space for your own voice. Space for the life you could not build while surrounded by hidden enemies. So let them go. Let the fake smiles go. Let the cold support go. Let the secret envy go. Let the guilt go. Let the old version of you that accepted it go. You do not need fake friends to become lonely. You need fake friends to stay lost. Once they are gone, you may finally find yourself. And that is the dark truth. Sometimes losing people is not a loss. Sometimes it is the moment your life gives you back to yourself.